Hi there, welcome to Back 40 Bushcraft. Just wanted to let you know about a project I've been working on. I have this old Broadaxe, as you can see. If you can take a look at that, might be easier this way. It's they're asymmetric in build, and that's for squaring off timbers and stuff, so that when you're swinging at it this way, you're able to keep a flat surface along that way, where most traditional axes have the same type of angling to it on both sides. So this thing, I believe, was hand built. I couldn't find any markings on it, but the thing has been absolutely beaten on for what looks to be a very long time, and I don't remember where it came from. I don't know who I got it from or anything. It was originally on this handle. The handle was obviously just way too loose and all that sort of stuff. Really quite done for. So I had this old handle from my log home building days on the head, where when we do our full scribe log homes, you do your lateral cuts with your chainsaw, and then you'd walk along with the axe, and they would just keep them nice and sharp to cut your lateral, your pencil marks off, so that you get a nice tight fit. Well, needless to say, someone came along at some point, and I think you can see this. They hit it with a grinder on this side. Now the thing about this is, as with chisels, very much the same, is it should be perfectly flat on one side, so that you're only ever sharpening the beveled side, and then if anything, you do a couple of strokes with your file or your stone or whatever you're using to essentially take the burrs off. I'm not going to get that far today. that may take me 5 years to get that far. You can even see there's a bit of a there's a bit of a curve to the blade and everything in there. Like, it's just been, this thing has been used. Needless to say, I'm quite excited. I'm going to turn this into my bush axe, and so essentially what I've been doing, you can see I've already kind of gotten started on it, and so I've just been setting it up on my bench here with a couple of C clamps. I think that's what we call these, C clamps. I don't know if you'll be able to make out the second one here. I wanted to make sure you'd be able to see what I was doing. Get that out of the way a little bit. Just to pin it down there nice and tight, you know. And then I'm using this. I don't even know if I get that in the whole screen any old way or whatever. Nice, a big long one, but you know, you got to be careful you're not doing this kind of rotating or anything like that. You want to kind of find your angle, and you just want to go across. And you know what? I've already logged in hours on this thing, just trying to get a proper bevel on the one side again. This file here, you'll notice some files have a double cut. This is a single cut. It seems to work really well. As another example, if you're catching closely on that, you can see there it's a double cut, meaning they go both ways. So that's known as a flat bastard. Oh look, this is one of those two-sided ones. That's kind of nice. Oh no, flat bastard on both sides. So I don't remember the technical details of the files, but this one here works very nice. And you know, there's really nothing quite as irritating. I'm just going to show you an example of my old draw knife that my brother-in-law had for a couple of years, and I'm sure you're able to kind of distinguish what's exactly happening here. I really think that he actually used a grinder on this. This is hand forged in Oregon. There's his marking on there. If I recall, it's a Dave bar. And this thing, I mean, this thing could peel a log like nobody's business. Lots of weight behind it. Of course, you'd hold it this way. That's the way you do it. And like I said, the only way you would ever use this for sharpening, I always preferred my old diamond stone like this, and you would just hold it on there flat, and I would just go back and forth and back and forth. Now, a grinding wheel is circular, and what causes these kind of indentations that way is that circular motion. And so now, at some point, obviously, I just haven't been working on this at all. It's going to take me a long time to regain that whole edge back. That should be just a perfectly smooth, shiny, sharpened edge, which it isn't. So that's my little project. I am working on this Broadaxe because I think it is just super cool. I'm happy with the way my new handles fitted on there. It obviously isn't the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to hit it with this file for as long as it takes until eventually I get my angle back where I want it to be. And then I would always end up finishing it with a flat stone. And that should be all I would ever really need to do with it once I get it to that point. I got a lot of steel to remove on that. And so likewise on the back side, because it has been such a long time and it has been beat on so much, I've been likewise pinning it down this way and just running over the whole thing as flat as I can. I would pin it down. I'm not going to do it right now, but just trying to make sure that this is all going to be perfectly flat and smooth by the time I get that bevel out of there. I'm anxious to see how that's going to look in the wilderness.